Right, here we go. This,
Okay.
is that hot? Let me just touch it. Oh, that fuck shit, that hurts. Right, so you might know that Cloud9 has just removed Inters and brought in Buster, which is pretty wild because Cloud9's not going to make a single Big Land final all of this year. Ooh! Oh, hello. Oh, that's perked you up a little bit. What was that? Oh, that wasn't a fucking sugar pill. That was Viking it. I'll have some more of this play. Because here's the problem with this move. One, has anyone seen Buster recently? He hasn't played in a million fucking years. And let's be real, because that team famously was like right in the middle of the online period, they were insane, that Virtus Pro team, and then they sort of gradually went down as we came to lands. And then he just disappeared because they made those moves last year, 2022, and no one heard of him since. So the problem with that is the last time Buster was really good, I'm not exaggerating, it was like about 2+ years ago. It might even be more. Like the time he was probably the best of that team was probably 4 years ago. Right? Guys, we're not talking about a guy who's like just in FPL banging everyone out now, like Monacy or fucking Wonderful. Like this is someone where we're already hoping he's going to transform back to past form. Then let's add in, I have no clue what fucking role they think he is going to play in their team. Because I'm really scared that because they sort of, I think, scapegoated Inters, I'm scared that they're just like, you are the new Inters, and he just takes his roles. Because I think that's dumb as fuck. Like, to me, what I would do if I'm Cloud9 is, look, I might sign Bust. He's not a terrible player. He was once a very good player. But I would just reformulate the whole team. I'd take, like, Shiro and Nax, I'll put them well. I'd figure the rest out. I don't think they will. So in my opinion, I don't believe in the Nafani one. I'm not quite as far as Maui, but I do think he's clearly not a top IGL. Like, he's now had too many chances. I've seen too many games that he just called into a brick wall, as it were. And the joke was, it wasn't the fault of the players. Like, sometimes they would be in impossible situations where they would have to be like, it's like she wrote that major. The joke was, Cloud9 probably shouldn't even have gotten out that first Swiss system. Shiro just decided, like, actually, I will just show you how good I am at CSGO. Let me just shoot everyone when trapped. And then, wow, we won these matches. Like, so I think, genuinely, I don't know, even though, the reason why this is a hot take for me, by the way, is because I did think, unlike Heroic, that if Cloud9 kept that lineup together, I thought eventually it's going to take over. Like, with the firepower they have, which is insane in those two star players, and even Hobby, if he's your third best mate, you've got a fucking fire lineup there. I thought eventually they were going to take over. Eventually, not an I am down. I thought eventually they'll make like a run at a major. Like I thought this last major, maybe that's it. Maybe you go to the final. The fact that they've bombed it so many times, I don't think they're like that close. I think actually there's some fundamental flaw in that team. And I think that it doesn't fix it, just add Buster. So I'm going to say they don't make a single final.
I love it. I love the take because I've kind of I'm one of the bigger Cloud9 haters out there, mostly for Nafani though, not for the players, obviously, not for everybody else. I think that with Buster, it's kind of it's really hard to imagine this move doing anything because when he was good for VP, aka a Vanguard, he was never really great for VP. He was good when they were a Vanguard. He was so aggressive. He was like first and second in a lot of the time. And then when he had to switch roles, because basically when Yakindar came in, they made Buster and Sanji kind of these like supportish sort of players. And once they took out Sanji and put in Flit, Buster got all the worst roles. And then you look at his year in 2022, and it was the worst year of his career by far. He had even, I think, worse I'll look to be sure about this claim, but I'm pretty sure he had worse numbers in that year than Inters did. And so if they expect him to do that role like 1-to-1, I don't understand. Okay, yeah, he literally had yes, he had worse numbers than Inters last year on LAN. So I don't know how you expect him to be the guy that's going to do better than Inters when he was basically playing the same roles but worse individually. So unless they think that somehow he was doing everything right in the system and he wasn't getting enough stats for it, then I don't know how this even can make sense. And so this is almost, in some ways, it's a downgrade if they're not going to actually change positions here.
Yes.
It's not just some, it's absolutely a downgrade. I agree with you. I think it's a dumb move that they made. I think it was not well thought of. I think in terms of firepower, I think Buster is sharper than Inters in terms of shooting. Can he kill more people? Yes. Can he do what Inters did on the server? No fucking chance. What Inters did on this, like the bad positions on bomb sites and everything, that he had to like a supportive role do as for his team that's not being seen by the audience because everybody's looking at Shira and Exile and Shira and Exile and Hobbit. So it kind of stays in the background. People don't see it, but he was very important to the system they were, having in this successful year and a half ahead. I agree with you with Nefani. I think as much as I defended him, I like the way he was playing aggressive, and he had some innovative things at the beginning that became stale. They didn't adapt to anything, and I think that is the main reason why they fell off. Are they going to reach a final this year? Are we counting only IEMs and Pro Leagues?
Big events, yeah, exactly. And not like some pinnacle championship type garbage, yeah, of course. Like real lands.
Yeah, I think that's a valid take, to be honest, considering the competition that we have right now. If Nefani keeps his methods the same, he doesn't adapt, he doesn't upgrade, he doesn't get more creative together with his coach and the team to actually go out of this stale mode they're playing right now, there is absolutely no way they go into any finals this year, especially now when they they kicked one of their key elements in their system, not for the fragging, but for the actual setting up all those players to do what they want. Let's see what happens when Buster creates a gap where there was advantage, what Inters did for them. Let's see who's going to take over that gap to fill it up so there is a void on the other part of the map, which you can exploit against them. So it's a very questionable move. I said dumb. Maybe that was too strong, but questionable to say at least, to actually change Inters for someone like Buster. If they went for a new talent or something, something a little bit more fresher in terms of, players, rather than Buster, who was pretty good in 2018, 19. He was decent together with Kickert. He was, the primary firepower in that team. If that would happen before, then yes. If they got something younger, then yeah. Right now, I don't believe it. So I'm gonna agree with you, Duncan, with the hot take.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or be a pleb and don't.